Welcome to today's ceremony. If my voice sounds a little quivery, it's because of the cold, not because I'm nervous. First off, we acknowledge with respect that we are inhabiting the traditional lands of the Nauset and Wampanoag peoples who have always existed here. We value their roles as past, present, and future guardians of our land. Thank you all for joining us as we come together to honor our service members, to remember their sacrifices and the courage it takes to defend honor, duty, and country. We gather today to recognize our heroes, to remember their achievements, their bravery, and their selfish dedication, and above all, to say thank you. If you have served in the armed forces, please raise your hand. And everyone, take a look around and see how many we have in attendance. We stand amongst patriots, as well as the family members and friends of those who have nobly served our nation. Author Dan Lipinski once wrote, "On this Veterans Day, let us remember the service of our veterans, and let us renew our national promise to fulfill our sacred obligations to our veterans and their families, who have sacrificed so much that so we may live free." Today's service will include prayers from Harwich Police Chaplain and Federated Church of Orleans pastor, Father Darren Morgan, who also is a former U.S. Army CID special agent. Remarks from Select Board Chair Kevin Gilligan. Music from the Nauset Regional Middle School. Our keynote speakers, Russ Kleekamp, former United States Marine Corps Corporal with the 25th Battalion, Heavy Machine Gunner. Russ, raise your hand. And Dave Hawk, local resident with deep roots to Orleans of Hawk Designs. Those two gentlemen are instrumental in that park over there. And then finally, anyone from the audience who would like to speak on behalf of what they've encountered, what this day means to them, whatever the case may be. But at this time, if you want to please remain standing as the Nauset Regional School Chorus performs our national anthem. And veterans, as you know, you are welcome to render a hand salute, even while in civilian attire. This will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. O Holy One, we gather today in solemn gratitude and deep reverence as we rededicate sacred ground. Veterans Memorial Park at Academy Place has been refurbished and rejuvenated and stands as a testament to courage, sacrifice, and unwavering service. We thank you for the men and women who have worn the uniform of our nation and have stood in harm's way so that freedom might endure. Bless our park place anew, O God. May it continue to be a sanctuary of remembrance, a haven of peace, and a beacon of honor for generations to come. Let every stone, every name, every flag wave with the spirit of those who gave their all. May their journey inspire us all to live with purpose, serve with humility, and love of our country with integrity. We ask your presence here today as we honor our Veterans Memorial Park and all who serve on this Veterans Day. Fill our hearts with unity, our minds with reflection, and our spirits with hope. May this rededication not only renew our park, but also renew our commitment to never forget. By the power of your Spirit, in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Orleans Select Board and the residents of our town, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us as we honor our veterans here today. Today is also very special as we celebrate the official opening of the renovated Veterans Memorial Park at Academy Place. Thank you all who contributed in so many ways to this wonderful project. Veterans Day is a time to pause and reflect on the courage, sacrifice, and the quiet strength of men and women who have served in our nation's armed forces. Their dedication has safeguarded the freedoms and values we share as Americans and as this community of Orleans. We also recognize the families of our veterans whose love, support are part of every service story. Thank you all for coming together this morning to show our gratitude and respect, and may this day remind us of the debt we owe to all who have worn the uniform of our country. Thank you and welcome.
Now I'd like to introduce Russ Kleekamp from EDR and Dave Hawk from Hawk Designs. Both these gentlemen, as I had mentioned earlier, were part of the program for Veterans Memorial Park. I reached out to Dave and Russ. I can't remember who I reached out to first, but we spitballed the ideas going forward, and these two gentlemen knocked it out of the park. So without any further ado, I'm choosing to introduce them as a team because we were all together on this.
Thank you very much. I'm Dave Hawk. I'm very honored to be here. And we just say thanks that we are allowed to be in this journey, which has just been spectacular. Early back in 2019, I believe it was, I got an email from Chairman Higgins here, and he mentioned to me that there was something going on down here at the Triangle. I always called it the Triangle, and talked to me about the renovation of such a great park. And being a resident of Orleans, I'd been by this place thousands and thousands of times, and I looked at it and said, wow, what a great spot. It's a little quiet, you know, there's some existing trees in there. It's got a weird shape. It's a triangle. And, you know, also it just had a great grace to it. It was fairly quiet back then. So I had a chance to speak with the committee and Chairman Higgins and get some ideas. And sure enough, we decided to pull together some concepts for the committee to see which direction this was going to go. And it's just a great location. That's the one thing that really stuck out to me is it's the gateway to Orleans. You got Main Street, you got the beach, you got the access to the Lower Cape and Chatham. Just if you look over there, it's just a great gateway to Orleans. So we went ahead and put together some concepts, and I think originally we had some that dealt with the with the triangle itself and coming into the middle and having a larger middle. And I got some inspiration from the committee, and they said, well, what about meandering walkways? And you know, we'd like to keep it not very stiff and keep it loose. And I said, you know what, this has got some legs. I said, let's see if we can make this work. So we pulled together some concepts, and as opposed to everything coming into the center, we said, let's keep the walkways to the perimeter, and let's create almost a necklace. And the necklace is the monuments that all face in to this great space. The interior is very simple and very open, so people could gather in it. The walkways run around the perimeter and connect all areas, Academy Place, 6A, and, 28 and Main Street. So that was kind of our thought, and this evolved as we went through the committee meetings and things like that. We had such great input from the committee, and it evolved and into the point where you see things today, and then obviously our great collaboration with EDR and all their efforts to actually get this into the ground and do all the detailing. It was really just a wonderful, successful collaboration there, and we are so fortunate that we are involved in that. I hope you enjoy the park. You can see it's surrounded by landscape. In the middle, it's all green and open so that people could gather. But then there's a perimeter of landscape around the outside of it to soften it, and when people are inside, to give a little perception of separation from the busy roads that surround it. So, you know, again, we were very thankful to be involved, to everyone, Selectman Herman and Chairman Higgins and everybody that supported it, the great committee that gave us all the direction. And I just have one other thing to say. I have 4 brothers, and my baby brother, when he was in college, he graduated, and 3 years after he graduated, he couldn't find a job. He was down in the dumps, and what he did is he enlisted. And they called him Grandpa at boot camp because he was one of the older enlistees there. All I want to say is when he came out, he had focus, he had purpose, he had confidence, he had compassion for life, and he had direction. And that is, what can I ask more from the armed services than something like that? Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Russ Kleekamp. I'm an engineer with the company EDR. It was about 15 years ago I got to know Kevin Higgins. I was working on various construction projects around town, and I got to know him through big surprise, talking to him while he was doing a police detail, like I'm sure a lot of us have. But it was one phone call about 6 years ago that really changed my opinion of Kevin from an all-around good guy to a role model, a leader, and somebody that I look up to very much. That phone call was where he had asked if I was interested in developing the construction documents for the renovation of Veterans Park. Kevin later went on to tell the story about a past ceremony where there was a veteran in a wheelchair that could not access the park during that ceremony. Kevin knew we could do better. Kevin sent me the conceptual plan by Dave Hawk, and I agreed to the assignment, I think before he finished the sentence. Between that phone call and today was a remarkable journey. At times we hit stormy weather. We had a pandemic interrupt progress. We needed to secure funding through various sources and had to make decisions on the fine details of a project that had thousands of individual elements, being the bricks, the pavers, plantings, and buried infrastructure to complete our vision. Knowing that this park is for the veterans, attention to detail was paramount. Once we got through the pandemic, once we secured funding, we started to inch closer to making this park a reality. After years of meetings, site visits, pondering colors of bricks and where to place monuments, the project finally went out to public bid, and we couldn't have been happier to have GFM Enterprises submit the lowest bid to perform the construction of the park. So during construction, I was on site for several inspections and progress meetings, and while those required technical observation of the construction, I made a larger, holistic observation. That observation was that this park carried a special meaning for all involved. GFM Enterprises, they absorbed effort, changes, and direction as if we were back in boot camp. Mike Rafferty, if you're here, can you raise your hand? Mike Rafferty was the project manager for GFM, and I can't tell you how many conversations we had about the purpose of this park and those it represents. On numerous occasions, I would drive by only to see Brian Sosner arranging bricks, rearranging bricks, placing them, scratching his head, tirelessly working to make sure that the requests of the donors were met. Nice job, Brian. Dave Hawk, he was really instrumental in a lot of things, but he also developed not only the conceptual design, but the planting plan for the park. And with the cooperation of Agway, Prince Landscaping, and Rainmaker Irrigation, we were able to enhance the park beyond just the green space that was originally visioned. The Caliban construction team is a class act. I think I saw some of the guys here earlier. They worked on all the hardscape for the park. It was Brendan, Andrew, Michael. They would tirelessly cut bricks, place, replace, rearrange, reset, and then do it all over again to get it right. At one site meeting, Michael mentioned to me that he had never worked on a project this visible and for such a good cause. So Mike, if you're out there, I don't know how long you've been working for, but I've been doing this for 23 years, and that same statement holds true for myself. And when you see the engraved benches, the restoration of the World War I monument, Civil War memorial, War of 1812 lectern, and the Compass Rose, that was the work of Tom Blute. I would ask that you all spend a moment at the World War I monument, as the restoration is the work of a true craftsman. The moment it became real to me was when the 1,000 plus inscribed bricks were installed with the final placement. I started to read each inscription and was quickly overwhelmed. The few words on a given brick made me think of that person's story, their sacrifices, and the contributions to this country's freedoms and liberties that we all enjoy on a daily basis. This is one of the proudest moments in my career. To see each person involved in this project give their best for the veterans was the most powerful observation I made. It is our hope that these efforts in this park is just a start of our gratitude and remembrance to the veterans that gave their best for this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Across our country today, people are gathering to remember, honor, and express gratitude to those who have served. Our gathering reflects the deep and personal connections that so many of us have to the military through our grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, and loved ones. If you look at the monuments over at the Veterans Memorial Park, you'll see many names etched in stone. But what you don't see are the countless family members and friends who stand behind those names, the invisible foundation that supports our military community. We together are part of that story. Anyone who knows me knows how deeply passionate I am about honoring our veterans. This park is completely altruistic to me. My name will never be in that park. But after this work that's been done on this park, the veterans' names will be honored. And there will always be a place to display someone's name in that park. Our Veterans Memorial Committee remains resolute in its mission to ensure that every veteran is remembered and honored. So now, let's address what might be called the elephant in the room, our Veterans Memorial Park. The project began, as Russ had indicated and Dave, several years ago during a rededication of the Vietnam and Korean War memorials. That event allowed our committee to recognize several veterans who had been inadvertently omitted from the original plaques. One of them, William Bill Moore, who served in Korea aboard the USS Antietam, was unfortunately confined to a wheelchair by the time the new plaque arrived and could not access the park for that ceremony. That experience inspired us to make the park more accessible and meaningful for all veterans and families. Our vision was to redesign the walkways to split and create two distinct memorials for the Korean and Vietnam War memorials and restore the aging World War I monument, creating a new Civil War memorial, as well as update the park's electric and irrigation system. Through funding of the Community Preservation Committee, CPC, the Orleans Improvement Association, OIA, and warrant article passed at the 2022 Fall Town Meeting, along with the unwavering support of the residents of Orleans, we are proud to present the new and improved Veterans Memorial Park to the town of Orleans and to every veteran that we honor here today. I'd like to do a special thanks, and that special thanks is a page and a half, so bear with me. This project would not have been made possible without the contributions of many individuals and organizations. Kim Newman, Orleans Town Manager, kicked this project into gear. Michael Herman is our liaison from our committee to the town of Orleans. Dave Hawk, Jayana McGuire, and the team at Hawk Designs gave us several renderings of the park until one was finally chosen. Russ Kleekamp and Griff Ryder. Griff, I know you're here somewhere. Griff? He was another gentleman that probably can't wait to lose my phone number. They are of EDR, formerly of GHD. Ryder and Wilcox, topographical design for the park itself. GFM Construction. Greg and Jennifer Morris and project manager Mike Rafferty. Where are you? There he is. Thank you. He's another one that wants to lose my phone number when he gets a chance. O'Neill Concrete, Shane O'Neill through Cape Cod Ready Mix, and Peter Joy. John Martin Jr., Site Construction and Sanitary Services. This is one you probably weren't expecting. Ace Hardware, Jimmy Morton and Lauren Baskin. Every time we were working on that park, we had to get something, and we'd go down to Ace Hardware, and they were aces. They would give us whatever we needed. CC Construction, Chris Cooney and Dave Tillman. I'm not sure if Chris or Dave are here. I don't see. They donated the Civil War rock. Ironically, we had been looking for a replacement for the Civil War rock, which is to mirror the one in East Orleans, but we couldn't find one that matched. And CC Construction, doing the sewering work in East Orleans, found one. And so even our rock for the Civil War is local. This is a big one. Caliban Construction. Brendan Kelleher, Andrew Husband, Michael Maloney, Caleb Sawyer, Joe Delano, and Joey Good. You guys, I know you're here. I've already seen you. Raise your hand. There they are. They are affectionately known to our team as the Kelebandits. Those guys, oh, what can I say? Any of the contractors that worked in that park, if they needed an extra pair of hands, the Kelebandits gave. If Tom Blute was putting something in and he needed an extra pair of hands to leverage, the Kelebandits were there. They were moving bricks. They were moving blocks. They were helping the irrigate. They did everything. So hats off, guys. Paul Candidge, Rainmaker Irrigation, United States Coast Guard, E5. All the irrigation in the park, all Paul's doing. Robert Peters, Wampanoag native artist of the Medicine Wheel. While the Medicine Wheel is still in production, we do have a temporary marker over there. So please check that out when you get a chance. Sean Ricard, Paul Bilodeau, Chase Gallant, Ricard Electric. Are you here, Sean? Don't see. Another, aces. Tom Blute, Raul Frausto, Crosby Monuments. Tom, are you here? There he is. Not only did Tom be instrumental in the restoration of the memorials, he's also a Gold Star family. He lost his uncle from World War II, and the bridge in going into Chatham over Muddy River was dedicated in his name. He was able to create the Battle of Rock Harbor lectern, the Civil War Rock, the refurbished World War I monument, as well as the Compass Rose located at the event circle. And most noticeably, the 6 granite benches located throughout the park, which that in and of itself is a story if anybody wants to hear it. R.B. Howarth, the expert crane services. Chris Hour, winching the equipment and the monuments. That Civil War, strike that, the World War I monument's over 100 years old. To say that I was a little nervous seeing that thing 20 feet in the air, but Chris was able to swing it with no problem. Agway of Orleans, Josh Weil and Rose Gravilis. I don't know if Josh is here. Agway was able to provide all the plantings for our park. Prince Landscaping, Dylan Prince, Andre Bryan, Andrel McIntosh, and Dofton Elliott. They unloaded all the plants from Agway, and they got all the plants in the ground in one day. There was over 400 plants. Veterans Memorial Park at Academy Place, the 501c3, fundraising and the fundraising arm, Brian and Carol Sosner. Marty, Saber. I knew I was gonna. Marty Saber and Katie Griffin for all your work on at the 501c3 for the granite, etched bricks, lectern, Civil War, and World War I memorial. The Orleans Department of Public Works, Rich Waldo and Calvin Sutton. I know Rich is here. I saw his there he is, that high-vis jacket. Calvin Sutton as well. Both of them, phone call, they were down here in a heartbeat. And also for the ground beautification and having this place gussied up prior to. I want to thank the Orleans Police details that are keeping us safe here today so we can segue across to the park for the grand opening, as well as the Police Honor Guard and Fire Honor Guard. At this point, I'd like to just note, Russ Kleekamp and I spoke the other day, and we estimate that if most, if not all, of the contractors of this project that I just mentioned worked on this project pro bono, or at a significantly reduced cost, as all have a connection to the military, either directly, such as Paul Candidge of Rainmaker as a U.S. Coast Guard E5, or have family members deeply rooted in the military. All have said that honoring our veterans is paramount. We estimate the cost of the pro bono or reduced at well over $100,000. Your dedication and craftsmanship have made this vision a beautiful reality. So at this time, I would like to invite, I haven't seen John Murphy. Is John Murphy here? I haven't seen John. Mun Cochran. You have to excuse me, the wind is fighting me. Mun Cochran, Captain, United States Marine Corps, assigned to I-Corps, HMM Squadron 362. Vince Van Norman. Is Vince here? I don't see Vince. E4, United States Navy, USS Champlain. Cecil Newcomb. I saw you. There he is. Corporal, United States Marine Corps, HMM Squadron 262. Matt Smith, U.S. Army, 3rd Ranger Battalion, 75th Regiment, and current Orleans police officer. And Aaron Meinhard Donahue, Petty Officer, 3rd Class, U.S. Coast Guard, machinery technician, and current Orleans Fire Department EMT. These veterans will help us cut the ribbon for our official opening of Orleans Veterans Memorial Park. Once the ribbon is cut, or I should say prior to the ribbon being cut, Pastor Morgan is going to read a blessing of the park. We'll have the ribbon cutting, and then we will be raising a new flag. And the Nauset Regional Middle School Chorus will sing the national anthem. But I would like to ask everybody to please sing as loud as you can. Let's make this a group effort, just like our park has been. Okay, with that being said, let's segue across the street and we'll do a ribbon cutting. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we step out, I do want to open this up to any public speak. If anyone, I know I mentioned it, but I think the cold gave me a little bit of a brain cramp. At this point in time, if anyone would like to speak in public speak, feel free to step up. Okay.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Claudia Goditis, and my husband Steve and I are residents in Orleans. Steve is a veteran, Vietnam veteran, and a Purple Heart recipient. And his mother, Peg Goditis, was a fabulous poet. And when Steve was in the service, she wrote a poem for him. And I read it every year at Veterans Day, and I just thought it'd be wonderful if I could share it. So the name of the poem is Remembering Vietnam, His War and Mine. I've been to war, not on his battlefield, but fear can freeze, whether searching for sleep or waiting for mail. Then a letter comes, sometimes with a snapshot. He's smiling into the camera, no shirt, boots unlaced. His father, with closed eyes, clutches the photo, remembering how it was. I struggle with Thanksgiving and supplication. We send him peanut butter, Kool-Aid, and birthday cake to be eaten in the jungle, and a flag from his congressman. At night, a radio message from a hospital ship. I'm okay, Mom. Over. I love you, son. Over. Malaria racks his body, but I think of him on clean sheets, safe from bullets. Joy is often painful. I was gardening the day they brought his Purple Heart, planting crocus that were to bloom for his homecoming. Shrapnel had found its mark. I buried a bit of myself with the bulbs. When he was mended and strong, they sent him back to take another hill with a gun and his short-timer stick. And I went back to my war, where the mailbox stood sentry. Thank you all for listening. It's a beautiful remembrance. Thank you.
You don't have to run.
I was a member of the Community Preservation Committee, and if you look at your checks, requests, you'll see a little sign, 3%, and that is what you have paid to have this park built. And I have, for about 3 years, worked with Kevin and some of his helpers on this, and I'm so proud and to be a part of it myself.
Thank you for sharing that fine poem. And thank you for bringing your warmth and your respect to this historic event. To stay warm, it's all right to bat your arms or jump up and down or just get cozy with your neighbor. What an impressive transformation of the Veterans Memorial Park, made possible by a battalion of contractors volunteers, 501c nonprofit, local businesses, and numerous donations by you, the people. Thank you. It's been a labor of love for Kevin Higgins, chair of the committee, and all those who have gone extra miles to make it happen. Speaking of extra miles, by the way, the bench story is briefly that just yesterday, monument provider Tom Blute and a platoon of his crew and volunteers installed new granite benches, replacing imperfect ones, going many extra miles to Vermont, delivered in time. Thank you, Tom. A quick reminder that I served as a non-combatant photojournalist in the Army, assigned to the information offices at West Point and headquarters in Vietnam. I now serve on the Memorial Park Committee. Phase 1 of the park is complete. Future memorials and monuments are being designed and will be installed in good time. The memorials engraved will be the best that they can be, to respect and honor their service and sacrifice for many generations. Last April, being a history nut, I couldn't resist Concord 250, the anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord. Militias who led the charge, starting the revolution to enable the Declaration of Independence. As a volunteer guide, I was often in close quarters with Minutemen and supporting women. Militias from all over New England in period uniforms with real muskets, who were the first to go to battle for freedom, the first force to fight the oppression of a monarch. It felt like real-time travel to a profound moment in our history. The Continental Army was formed soon after, led so well by George Washington, to secure our republic. If we can keep it, warned Benjamin Franklin during the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We'll celebrate the 250th anniversary next year. History cannot comfort us in this uncertain hour, but it can inspire us. From Valley Forge to Gettysburg to Omaha Beach, Americans have sacrificed, fought, and died so that we, the people, could seek a more perfect union. We can have hope and faith that our democratic republic and Constitution will survive. The path of success seems simple. United we stand, divided we fall, as founder Patrick Henry declared. The challenge now seems to be better citizens, with malice toward none, for charity for all, with firmness in the right, as Lincoln spoke in his second inaugural address. To move to common ground with a willingness of the heart. I like to think we all have that, a willingness of the heart, no matter what party we follow. To have a willingness of the heart to help this country do better and be better. Again, thank you for bringing your warmth and respect to this historic event.
Thank you, Andrew. Is anyone else from the audience would like to speak? Seeing no one jumping up, I think we will segue across the street for the rededication. What I'm going to do is the 6 individuals that I've identified will be cutting the ribbon. And then what I would like to see is any veterans in our audience. Again, if everyone could raise your hand if you're a veteran. Please follow our 6 veterans in, because we want you to be the first into your new park.
Be blessed with peace, remembrance, and honor. May every named etch here echo with gratitude, and every visitor be stirred by the courage it represents. May this Veterans Memorial Park stand as a living legacy, a place where freedom is cherished, sacrifice is remembered, and unity is renewed. Bless those who walk these paths to carry forward the tribute of service with humility and hope. May this rededication rekindle our commitment of honoring sacrifice, and may the blessings of God rest and remain deep in our hearts this day and always. Amen.